So we join back in on the crazy adventures of the Calls to Astera as we join our group in the city of Kadfesi, not currently joined as a complete unit, but in their separate duos dealing with the new and strange city environment. Eleni and Volu have made their journey fairly easily, dropped off the goods they needed to, and have made rest in the rusty bucket, if I am not confused. On the other side, Ichi and Dante, a little bit of a, not rough, but uneven journey as they dropped off their goods, but were immediately summoned into a back room and questioned about their goings on the journey. Wanting to know more about this Volu character.
Don't know him. I've never met him before in my life.
And Ichi and Dante were seeing, after dropping off their own things, were seeing fit to quickly maybe try and go and find Eleni and Volu. So, don't stress. So I'm going to join in with Ichi and Dante as you are standing outside the Bloody Banner. And you were about to... had you confirmed a location for where you were going to head first? They had told you They had told you the place they were going to drop the thing, so you would know of the down in low. No, they were going to.
We were actually going to Dana, and it said at the Rust Bucket, but her shop is across the road. So
yeah,
we would have been aiming for the Rust Bucket.
We know they are.
You know they were going to around that area.
Proximity, yeah.
The other place that you would know that they are maybe going, because Volu mentioned that he did want to actually pay the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the Battered Brew. And that is the tavern that is in the bastion, just outside of the fort itself. It's like the first tavern you'd go to. It's also mostly frequented by soldiers and guards. And
right. I feel like we should probably head towards the Rusty Bucket first, just see if we can catch them on the way out of where they were doing their business, and then if not there, then we can always perhaps inquire to the business as to which way they saw them go.
That sounds like the best course of action.
Right, well, to the Rusty Bucket, I suppose. Do I have an understanding of where the Rusty Bucket is? Because I've been here before, I believe you said.
Yes, you would know the rough location. You know, it's not like street for street.
Yeah, I know it's like it's downtown kind of area.
Well, so you guys are in the Bloody Banner. So you're actually on the plains area, closer to the arenas. You know, you need to head to the base and a slight bit up to get to Lower Hill, which is around where the Rusty Bucket is, or should be. As you sort of looking up, you can see where the sort of winding steps and the hobcobbled buildings begin on the side.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Yeah, I'll start making our way there not in a sprinting fashion, but in a kind of hastily manner.
Okay, so as you set off, can you both roll me a D100 roll, please?
Oh, D100. Ooh. What does it mean? What are you? You're a 49.
And you're a 45.
Okay. So, I mean, it makes sense you are together, but you, as you sort of head out, you can see that there is some commotion going on around the Colosseum and the markets itself. As you're each trying to look, you can see in the distance there's something going on that looks like some sort of parade. You can see banners and stuff waving, but also moving steadily across the market. But as you're sort of looking that way, you notice one of the street vendors on the side who's selling like it's almost like a meat sandwich, but the sort of fresh bread cooked with the meat right there. They've got salad and stuff, and the sort of stuffing pockets of sandwiches for people. And there's all of a sudden like, "Hey, you bastard dog, get back here!" And they start like running almost towards you at first. As you look down, you can see this extremely scruffy, wiry-haired dog currently clutching a like if you imagine this was being handed to a customer, it's like half of the bag, half of the sandwich. The tongue is trying to get the meat bit of the sandwich as they're sprinting away at full speed. You would both easily recognize a stray. They're no collared, very clearly battered and bruised, wiry, unkept fur with chunks missing out of it. And as they're running towards you, they barrel past you for like in between the both of you. But you can see, give me insights, both of you, as you're seeing this. The crowd's parting, people are shouting.
15.
9.
Okay, so Ichi, what are you thinking and doing as this dog races past you and starts darting towards an alleyway?
Probably thinking like, oh, poor thing. Ichi's gonna attempt to, like, as the dog kind of like running past, is gonna kind of attempt to purposefully, accidentally step into one of the individuals and like block their path and kind of like, even if it takes like them to the floor, happy to
Okay.
kind of like shove my body between and be like, oh, there's a dog. Ooh.
Yeah, Ichi begins to do that maneuver. I'd say for Dante with the 15, you can see there are two individuals. There is the first guy who's holding like a ladle or something. He's the one that's closest to you guys. In the background, you can see their son or some other worker like in the midst of like loading up a throw with something you can't see what they're throwing, maybe 10 foot behind.
I go to stand in the position where he's about to throw something and stare him down.
Okay, so can you drop me an intimidation? Ichi, you and the guy with the label just, can you give me a strength as you two collide with each other?
21. Well, I didn't realise my intimidation was a +3, so happy.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay, so Ichi, up to you whether you go down or stand as it. Your rooted feet seem sturdy enough as the guy bounces off you.
As he impacts with me, I kind of do that like I've turned my back to him. He's smacked into my back. I'm turning around, putting my hand like underneath his shoulder, trying to catch my balance, and then I'm taking him to the ground with me.
Okay, you two tumble down in a pile, and Dante stepping in the way of what was going to be, as you see, he halts, frozen, the knife that's in their hands.
Oh, knife. Oh,
Right.
What have you got there? A knife? No.
That blasted dog's been stealing us for weeks. Guards won't do anything about it. He like comes over and starts like helping his whoever, like whether it's his dad or his uncle or whatever. They start helping them up. They're brushing themselves off like fucking what, and then they like walk over and ignore your interaction, but head back to serving customer. Like, so sorry for that, mate. And they like replace the one that they were giving to the customer. Like, didn't bite you at all, did it? Like sorting them out, but.
has the dog disappeared now?
As you turn around, no sign of it. Though you can see, I would say, for Ichi, definitely gone. For Dante, the signs that you have, you can see people still looking. If you imagine down the street, there's like a few people looking leftwards as they clearly something has bust past them at top speed.
Well, I'm going to assume that it's at least left this area, so he's probably safe. Or he knows what he's doing. Sorry, my house has made a weird noise.
Sorry. Okay, so you would be able to continue on. I'm going to take a brief pause there as I jump over to Lenny and Volu. You finished your rest, you've unpacked, you've had some food. It's only maybe midday-ish. What are you wanting to do first? Obviously, there's you talked about the libraries and things like that. You're muted still, sorry, Eleni.
So Eleni saw how excited Volley was about a weaving competition. So she's actually thinking that the libraries could probably wait till tomorrow, and we should maybe have a wander and basically find out what the different competitions are and like how people enter and really work out how to do this so that he can enter if that's what he wants to do.
Okay.
So yeah, so she would suggest, should we just have a look around and see this festival stuff and see what competitions are going on?
Yeah, it sounds like a really cool thing they've got at the moment, and maybe we could find something for you to enter.
Maybe.
Maybe they have an archery contest.
That would be good. I'm not sure I'm up for the eating competition. Maybe you could do that one.
Oh, I don't know. And as I say that, I kind of look over to the what was her name? I did write it down.
I haven't got my notes on me from last week. I can go and get them if we need me to.
Oh, Ilara.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew I put it somewhere. I look over to Ilara and kind of wave and gesture to say thank you for the extra servings.
She nods, and you can see now the miners. Probably by the time you finished eating, the miners have finished their lunch break and are heading back, and are sort of piling out. Alara would sort of come over to collect your dishes. Says, "So then, I heard you thinking about going and looking at the festival stuff."
Yeah, well, we've never seen anything like this before, so it seemed like a waste not to, right?
Yeah, well, the market down by the Colosseum has lots of different things. Also, if you're looking to enter anything, that's up by the bastion in the fort.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Of course, and they like scoop up your plates and head over towards back towards the kitchen area and leave you to your.
As she's about to leave, Liam, I'm just going to sort of call her back for a second and say, is there anywhere that we can? Is there like a post? Is there like any way to send messages to other places from the city?
Yes, that also up at the bastion.
Okay.
Though it can be quite pricey to send things to other cities. But within the deserts, they should be pretty fine. Major cities are usually okay, but far off places, I tried to send something over to the Sapphire Plains, and it cost me quite a bit.
Yes, thank you though.
And they head off back, leaving you to.
As she heads off, I give her a little wink.
Okay. So yeah, you are left sort of sat. Goes fairly quiet in here.
So I'm just going to say where to then? Market or bastion first?
We could see what else we've got. We might be able to sell this at the market.
That is true. We have some gems and stuff as well, unless I've split that with the guys. But we could see what we could sell.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Okay, so you two set off. As you're heading out, you look down from the position in Lower Hill that you're in. You can see the Colosseum, and there's all the multicolored red and orange colored tarps and shawls that hang over the top of the market stalls. Although at this distance you can't really pick out people, but you can see where you're going, as it were. And as you begin making your way down the hill, can you also roll me a d100 each?
Okay. $41.
88.
Okay, so as you're initially leaving and starting to head down the long winding roads that lead down the mountainside, you hear what sounds like somebody shouting, but upon looking over, you can see maybe 7 or 8. Hard to tell at first of ages because of the mix of races. You can see there is a dwarf, 2 halflings, 3 humans. There is a Goliath, an orc, and sorry, I said 8, and a tiefling. The humans and the tieflings sort of give away to the age, and the orcs, to be honest, as well, as all of those seem definitely in their teens, maybe between 12 or 15.
Okay.
All of them are holding in their hands different degrees of built and stability, metal or wood or some other board with a blue glowing crystal, either in the center or one at either end. And they're currently running and jumping and sliding down the streets on these hoverboards, for want of a better word. But as they go, they're flicking up dirt in passers-by. You see one of the kids jumps up and slides down a railing, but as doing so, knocks a bunch of the flower pots off a person's ledge. And generally, as they carve their way down the road away from you, moving at quite a pace, just causing general mayhem, laughing and cackling as they go.
Are these boards quite close to the ground?
Between 5 and 10 feet, depending on how they're
Oh, wow.
jumping.
So they're quite high then?
So they're not standardly up there, but you can see that they're able to like hit off a wall and bridge to that height before it like drops back down, but it never touches the ground. And it would give you the image of the Zikar crystals that you have been told about, but you've not heard about them being used like this. And after a few moments, they are gone down another alleyway, sliding, and you can hear the noise and shouts, but gone out of sight.
I thought that those crystals were meant to be expensive. I mean, if kids are using them.
Wasn't that the one that stopped us at the guidepost?
There was a crystal that was what they said had got destroyed, wasn't there, with the gnomes?
An elderly orc sort of leaning down to like pick up some of the broken plant pots. It's like, street thugs. They break them off the bottom of vehicles, absolutely wrecks the vehicles if they're not done right, but they don't care. They take a piece and slap it onto that. I don't know how they're enchanting it though. And he just sort of like mumbles off to himself. Broke 4 of my pots last week.
Do the guards not do anything about it?
He sort of walks away. Yeah, he's not really like, he's just sort of heard you mentioning like how a kid's getting it.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot we can do about that, right? But interesting way to get around.
It looked pretty cool.
And you would have seen it literally did look like, so there was like, one with 2 pieces of plasterboard clearly nailed together, like rope strapping the feet on, like they're by no means well crafted. But cool. Yes,
follow the trail of destruction.
You continue making your way down the hill. and moving towards the market. Can everyone give me perceptions, please? Yes,
Perception.
Mum, exactly that.
15.
What is that, dog?
That is a deerhound.
Deerhound.
Two.
That is
You
what I
also
was
have wolfhounds, which
Oh,
are
yeah,
similar
it's a-
sort of.
A little bit like an Irish wolfhound.
thinking. Yeah.
Mm. So you get Scottish deerhounds and Irish wolfhounds.
So 2 from Dante, Beecham.
9.
Okay.
Oh, I think is that a nat 20? It
That's n-
is.
It's not. It's
No,
not
it's a
nat
dirty
20.
20.
It's a dirty 20. 17 plus 3.
Aw. Got cited for
If
no
it's
reason.
green, then it's natural. If it's a
Yeah.
natural 20, if it's red, it's a natural 1.
It's dirty. Dirty.
Dirty 20. I don't want it.
No, I want it.
I'll trade it for my 2.
We never say dirty 1, do we, when it's like a 2
No,
minus 1?
because
or
it's
something like
a
that?
natural one. Well, no, I suppose. Yeah, you would. Well, how often does that happen though? Like,
But
Yeah,
it
I
depends,
mean-
doesn't it?
I mean, I rolled a 3 and got a 2, so
dirty 20s happen more than dirty ones.
Probably.
got a lot of dirty one. Even in my head, that didn't sound.
And that's why we don't
I
say
did.
dirty 1.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eleni and Volu, as you're heading down, maybe about 60 feet away, heading up another another path that joins to the winding routes, you would see the figures that you recognize as Dante and Ichi. They don't seem to have seen you. Whether you wish to approach is purely up to you.
I would point it out to Volu if he doesn't point it to me or first. How far away do you need to be to speak in someone's head?
That is too far.
That's a shame. We could have frightened them.
We could sneak closer.
Let's see if we can get closer to them.
Okay, I'm gonna try and sleuthily creep up on Beecham. Ichi.
Okay, give me stealth
Beachy.
checks. Both.
Oh, Beachy!
Beachy.
Oh, missed a chance there. Stealth check. Okay. Oh, now that's a nat 20.
Let's hope I don't mess this up.
Oh, well, you'll still be my passive regardless.
80.
Nice.
Okay.
And that beats
So-
my passive as well.
So both Eleni and Volu drop low. And not really there's no brush around here as such. It is the base of the mountain, but you almost just sort of duck down a bit lower as they are heading up the ridge above you, and they almost join the path going up, but further ahead of you,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And you are free to sneak up and gain the distance you want to gain.
Brilliant.
I mean, Eleni could touch them if she wanted to.
I'm gonna let Volu do his thing. I'm just sneaking along with him.
Okay, so I am gonna put my grisliest mind voice.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for a performance from you for Volu's grisliest mind voice.
Jeez.
Oh.
I'm gonna attempt a grisly mind voice.
He's going to come out sounding like Quarrick.
Yeah.
And just kind of whisper Ichi.
Ichi.
Hello?
Ichi.
He just begins looking around, puzzled.
Yeah, I mean, you scan around. There's civilians walking up and down this trail. No one's looking at you though. There's no one like standing out to you. That
Okay, as a true high wisdom, low intelligence, well, average intelligence, Ichi's just going to turn to Dante. Is the dog talking to you? I think the dog's talking to me,
Oh, did we hear that?
and it knows my name.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Do you know what the doggy's talking about?
No, I'm assuming
There's no dog around. As in Dante,
I-
you do, but for the other two, they heard him say this out loud. But there's no dogs around here right now. Like, but for Dante, feel free to respond however.
Yes.
Fuck you, but thank you.
It's even clear, like with the lowest of perceptions or insight, you know that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Huh. I hope you enjoy your sandwich.
I need another sandwich.
Oh, I need another sandwich. So just that's Quarrick, by the way.
It sounds like Mickey Mouse.
Ichi's gonna.
What it was based on.
And canon what is coming through in Ichi's head with that 3 performance.
Ichi, very confused, walks over to the sandwich seller. Excuse me, the sandwich that dog took, it looked quite nice. Would I be able to have one? And how much would that be?
Just 4 copper.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, well then, I'll have 2.
2 coming right up.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Hey.
Have 3.
You want 3? You know what? I'll make it 3. I'll buy 1 for myself, 1 for later, and 1 for my companion.
Hey, so, right, you are 12 copper, and I'll get those right up for you. And he
Wonderful.
starts making them up.
Yeah, I pass over 12 copper.
And hand it into your hands. Dante, what are you doing as he does that?
He's very like this is his face very much. Ichi.
I'll explain later. Thank you. Have a good day. Did you see which way the dog went? Where are you?
I don't have spells. I can't even like.
At this point, I don't say anything.
Right, we are. Ichi kind of like closes his eyes for a minute, brings his hands over the chest of the eye symbol. It glows a little bit, and I'm going to cast Locate Object on the bag that was in the dog's mouth.
I like that. I mean, you can keep going. I'm going to look up some stuff. Yeah, feel free to say what you're saying. As I don't. Do you have any Arcana proficiency?
Myself?
No, sorry, Dante, because you might recognize spells if you've got Arcana proficiency.
Yeah, I do. So, yeah, I know
you know that was Locate Object. You've seen it done before. You might not have them yourself, but you know he just cast Locate Object.
What are you doing?
Apparently the dog wanted 3 more sandwiches, and I'm worried about the fact that it can talk in my head. So I figured at this point, let's not anger the
I'm going
dog.
to slap him. The only thing I can do. I rolled an 18. So
I am watching Volu, like I am staring in his eyes, waiting for him to give me some kind of signal to put them out of their misery. But I'm like,
so you've taken, so what is it? 1 point plus my strength. So you've taken 4 points of damage, whilst I've just walloped you across the face.
Ichi takes the slap. Dante,
What are you doing?
I'm going to ask you one question. Was that you who slapped me?
out of the two of us,
Mm-hmm. Out of the two of you, you who slapped me?
yes, because out of the three of us, only one body should have the voice of two.
I don't have another voice. There's just the dog
voice.
talking to me.
Bowler, I'm going to
Yes.
assume that Bowler is currently wetting himself.
Yeah, I'm literally rocking.
So
Got
I'm
my
going to
hands across
ask.
my head.
I'm going to ask for another stealth as your giggling is breaking your stealth at this point.
Thing is, there's like my passive perception is 9.
My passive perception's 16.
17.
And he got 17.
So that there's like a bush just off to the side, and it definitely rustled for a second. It's,
I don't know how to explain it, but that dog ran past. We got in the way, and now something is saying my name in my head. See, no one else knows my name unless the cartel or whatever the hell they are that we've had an interaction with is already tracking us. In which case, I don't think they would ominously be saying in my head, Ichi, get 3 sandwiches.
The cartel snaps my giggles.
So your opinion is, out of all the things that you could be having in your head, a dog running away with a bit of food is your answer. And you are meant to be my only hope.
When you say it like that, it sounds really bad.
You're telling me.
Who else would ask for 3 more sandwiches? I understand how this looks, Dante. I understand.
I don't think you do.
I'm here holding 3 very nice smelling sandwiches with the full anticipation of giving them to a dog that I believe is talking to me in my head, but I don't have any other explanation.
I'm just going to put my hand on your shoulder and just go. I'm going to go to start to wander off.
Okay, Volu.
At that point, the cartel has broke me out of the giggles a little bit, and I'm gonna signal for Lenny to let's finish it off.
I'm gonna sort of.
She just pulls the arrow like, oh, okay. I didn't think we were going that way, but all right.
Okay. I am going to just sort of saunter up behind the two of them as they're still stood having this conversation. And I'm just going to try and sort of sneakily slide around Ichi and just steal one of the sandwiches straight out of his hands.
Sleight of hand?
Yeah, for sure. It's a disadvantage because he is...
Oh, but he can't see me coming.
No, but he has them here.
I'm just going to put my arm around and just,
Yeah,
I mean, it was maybe in his pocket, then fine.
Yeah.
It's literally like holding a weapon.
Like, I fully agree the hand could get to no.
There's just a strong moment where she goes, look, I know, and as he brings them back, there's only 2 sandwiches there.
And I'm just then going to stand out in the open. I'm going to break stealth, and I'm just going to stand there and go, thanks.
So for our audio listeners, Eleni with a nat 20, there was a moment where Ichi's hand left the clasping of 3 bags, and when it returned back down, there were only 2. Dante, you turn to walk away and have to double take as you hear the rustle of the bag and turn, and now Eleni is just already eating it. Stood next to Dante, who does not know she's there, and is just so. I know this looks. And Volu, what are you doing?
I'm gonna kind of sneak out of the bushes and be like, "Oh, hello."
Say that again.
Hello.
No, the way you did before. way you did.
I didn't change my voice. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
As our first like slightly higher pitch, like hello, came out, I was like, I look down at the two sandwiches. I look at Eleni.
I would just flick him a silver piece, just sort of like.
That's the price
I'll-
for 3 of them, nearly.
Catch it, hand it back. I'll hand a sandwich to Dante and a sandwich to Bolu.
Yes.
Oh, he's just
You know
gonna
what?
Put it away. For the...
Lunch is on me, I guess.
I wouldn't
What are
mind,
you
but we've
guys
just
doing
had
here?
lunch and you've had seconds, so. It's not-
we were actually on our way to find you, and then
and then
we found you.
he started acting a bit strange. He said a dog was talking to him, and that's why he needed to buy the sandwiches for the dog.
That explains why he looks like he's got the tail between his legs.
I have a feeling we may have been. Have a feeling I may have been duped.
Sorry, we couldn't resist.
Hey, all to you. It was a.
You had no clue we were there. It was too
Nope.
tempting.
Nope, I did not. This is gonna sound like retaliation, and I promise you it isn't. Volu, I think the cartel has your name.
How?
I stop mid bite.
Do you remember that spell that happened when we opened the box? In which you and I spoke our names?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the receiver of that may have been someone we don't want to have known our names.
Whose idea was it to open the box?
I believe all of ours.
But who came up with the idea?
No, everyone did want to.
I don't think I cared.
I think
No,
we all
Dante didn't.
decided.
I-
but yeah,
I
Dante
wa- I
did
wa-
not
I wa-
care.
I wanted to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I gave a shit. I wasn't even in the air.
I think it was
Wait,
more Eleni and myself being like, well, we should at least, like, we can't just, we need to know what we're transporting now.
I still don't know why you guys said your names when the box was opened. I mean,
We were compelled to. A magical influence forced us to declare our names.
I've not said my name in years.
You didn't even know he knew the whole
so
thing.
when you say, why would the cartel need to see Volu? I take it they weren't very happy about the compass being
No.
missing.
No, they weren't. I tried to throw them off the scent of you, just mentioning that you were an individual who happened to be with me at the time, which is true. I just wanted to also come let you know.
Do they have a description of him?
Just name.
Just a name.
I wanted to come let you know because I couldn't in good conscience let you go off without at least knowing of a possible danger, especially after your help with everything we went through on the road. I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night if I had.
Wow.
Sounds like you need a nickname.
Well, considering Ichi got us into this mess,
Excuse me?
considering that you got us into this mess,
What do you mean I got you into this mess?
you opened the box, you made me speak my name.
I didn't force you to do anything.
What nickname should I go by from now?
Warwick.
No.
Archie.
Did the people that you knew before, did they call you anything other than Volu? Was there any pet names or?
Archick.
I kind of retreat a little bit and There was a few names, but they weren't particularly accurate.
We don't want anything nasty. Maybe let's have a look around today, and if you hear somebody's name and you like it, you could use it. Nobody would know. Nobody here knows you.
If you could reinvent yourself and give yourself any name, what name would you like?
I like Bolu.
It's a good name.
We can think about that another time. We can think about
Let's
that.
I
take
am-
some time.
I am sorry again. Like I did not intend for any of this to happen.
No,
It wasn't just your decision to open the box, Ichi. I also thought we should find out what was in there. It's just as much my fault. And believe me, I don't think I'd have been happy about saying my name. It is what it is.
I do appreciate you coming to tell me. Thank you.
We need a different name before you enter all these competitions, at the very least.
You're entering
Yeah.
the competitions.
Did you hear about all the competitions that they're going to be at the festival? Apparently,
I'm-
there's fighting and eating and
I'm
drinking and making things.
semi-familiar with some of the competitions.
So yes, definitely Ichi, you would know the generic outlay because you would have been to a few of these over the years. You don't know. I don't think you've heard this cities yet. But you know that there is first days to craft, second days to food. There's a general pattern that happens. Combat on the final day, etc. There's a usual proceedings.
And we were told about this doom hacker thing.
Oh.
You know, like the gnomes at the gate, that they had that machine and that crystal that had smashed.
Yes.
Apparently anyone can enter it if they've got a vehicle.
Yes, and anyone can, but you will need one of those levitating vehicles, one that's powered by those crystals. I
So we
believe
can't do it on those boards that those kids had, right?
it also needs to be able to be powered by its own propulsion, I believe. What are those ones called?
Oh, Aether Stream? Aether Stream.
Aether
something.
Stream, I believe, yes.
Yeah. Maybe we could
if you
buy
were to
one
use one
or
of those
win one,
hoverboards,
or
we could try and say sorry, I'm self-inserting here. I wouldn't go with the hoverboards if you were to try and do this, mainly because you wouldn't have a lot of protection, and during those races, there are rules. And I believe, one of those rules is if someone dies from your actions during the race, you're not held accountable. Yes, so you kind of want more protection than
dangerous.
Yes. But Doom is in their name.
True.
They didn't just give it that for a sense of flair.
You would know, while obviously as well in the past this wasn't the case, the Tuil government has seen fit to stand by a number of clerics and a number of healers and such to prevent as many deaths as possible, but it is very much signing up is your own risk.
Yes, harm may come to you. It may be able to be fixed at the end of it, but there is no guarantee. A signing of one of those contracts is not signing away your life, but signing away the possibility of life, really. What makes you want to... Is that one of the competitions you want to get involved in?
Not necessarily for me. Rolu had some thoughts around the weaving competition.
Oh, I didn't realise you're a weaver.
I mean, I wear leaves as a cape, but okay.
So I didn't.
Isn't
I
he
wasn't
the
assuming
weaver?
that you had made it. I thought perhaps it was something you purchased. But that's actually quite incredible. The work's very good.
Thank you. I like to find the leaves, and I spend quite a lot of time with it actually. So it actually means a lot when people say nice things about my cloak.
I really enjoy the different like patterns you've done with the different like colours of leaves. How have you got them to like keep their shade rather than decaying over time? Or is that a trade secret? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked. I don't want to, especially with the competition. Who knows who's listening?
Are you planning to enter any competitions? Are you planning to do this death hacker?
Oh no, I don't have a vehicle for that.
We were planning on leaving.
Yes, we were more trying to get out sooner rather than later, but wanted to obviously stop off to see you first.
I mean, with this whole cartel thing, I know, I'm still pretty mad about the whole you opening the box thing. But it would be nice if you could stick around a bit longer, and just make sure we're okay.
It can be done.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Thanks, Dante. Thanks, Ichi.
And hey, I guess that means that we can come and cheer you on in the weaving contest.
Okay.
That'd be really good.
We were heading to the market to find out some more about these tournaments. Do you want to come along?
Dante?
I think also, Eleni, it would spring in your mind, you've got the shared bag of
Yes,
trash.
that's literally what just popped into my head.
So I think the Ichi, with your insight, you would see Eleni sort of like tapped her side as she sort of remembers. There's the pouch she put aside that was stuff you had gathered together.
So so I am going to say, oh, some of this is yours. This is the treasure we got from the tower. And I'm sort of going to open up my bag, and there's some bags of gems. There's some necklaces, some rings. There is a fancy masquerade suit, and there's a harlequin outfit.
Without the cloak.
Without the cloak, and I'm just going to sort
of.
There
is also the cloak that's not been identified, and all those things as well.
Yeah, there is also the cloak, but I think somebody took the cloak, didn't they?
I thought.
No, you were holding it, but you had been able to.
Actually had it.
No, you were able to determine that it was magical, but you haven't been able to identify it yet. No. You didn't want to just attune to something in case it was good.
So the thing that I was going to say is that, first of all, I'm probably going to say, does anybody need any of these gems for the magic stuff that you do? I mean, if we need to look through them and keep any of them. But I didn't know if we just wanted to sell all this stuff and split the money.
That would be good use.
I mean, I can't see me wearing a masquerade suit, but if anybody particularly wants it.
Maybe for a Friday night.
Okay.
I don't need any.
I'm just going through and checking.
As you guys are turning to head down to the market, each you would realize your spell's still running. It's 10 minutes. And that bag is 950 feet. And as you guys are moving away, it moves out of range, but it doesn't move. It is stationary 950 feet and northeast from you. You think towards the base of the mountain, but not quite there. And you guys continue and head down towards the market. You head into the market and it is chaos, bustling people back and forth, vendors over here, the best wares in the land, shouting and calling you over. What you would notice, at least in this initial market, there is the beginnings of the setup for the festival, but there's also the people that just set up here daily. And right now it is a bit hodgepodge, a bit chaotic. And basically I need a skill check. You can choose, doesn't have to be investigation, could be perception, could be something else, to persuasion, to chat your way through, whatever it is, but to basically be guided to the best version of the stall. There are 19 jewelry stands of varying quality from varying people. It's, if you think you very classic set up pop-up market sort of thing.
Volu.
I'm gonna say no guidance to one person because you're all doing it at the same time. So Volu can choose who is getting the guidance.
I'm probably gonna guide myself. What are we rolling?
So you can
Whatever
choose
you like.
something that you think will help you find the right store, the best stall to sell your things
23.
at. Right now, it's a very chaotic mix. What are you actually looking for there? Because obviously, as you look at your stuff, you've got clothes, you've got jewelry,
I've got my tooth.
you've got like
We've got this
monster
magic cloak
bits.
thing, yeah.
So I've rolled 23 on investigation for the gems.
Okay, so Dante, as everyone else is having a think, Dante, you would easily, you're sort of looking at the different stalls and you can see like, no, this one's sort of like, it's mostly wooden jewelry and very little gems. And you manage to find, as you make your way through, a stall of what looks like mostly cut gems and those sorts of things rather than jewelry, if that makes sense, that you think would take more the raw gem at a better price than a jewelry store might.
I think, Liam, if I saw Dante heading towards jewelry stores, I would possibly then start looking for more magic item kind of stuff. And I'm
Okay.
thinking either a perception just to see if I can spot one, or I'm wondering if there's any way I could use my survival to sort of to navigate my way through the market. I know
Survival
that's,
less probably
yeah.
mostly because of the chaos and movement.
Yeah.
Like there's too much going on the ground.
So I'll just do a perception then.
Okay.
Oh, and I got a nat 1. Great.
Okay, so Eleni, it has actually been a long time, and actually, even in your life before, you didn't spend this much time around
No.
chaos and this many people, and just in this small area, there are a few thousand people.
Wow.
In this nestled market, bustling back and forth and pushing past. Your swarm is uncomfortable, you are uncomfortable, and you are not able to sort of like, every store looks the same. It's like, you know, sweets and food, and they all looked fine and good, and that jewelry store was fine, and yeah, that wooden carved thing looks fine, but then Dante's like, no, they're cheap, they're, you know, subpar work, and they move on. It's like, I don't, you're not getting how Dante's telling the difference, and you're getting frustrated and not comfortable time for Eleni in this cramped
I would probably
place.
completely sort of just withdraw, but just follow the guys and
Okay.
just go where they're going.
Yeah, I would. I've rolled investigation with guidance and got 6 total.
Okay, and again, and to be honest, if I was not asking for rolls, this is the way I would have written it. That again, for Volu, this is not a comfortable place for you. This is very much actually reminds you of being in some of the cities and markets in the Feywild. That at that time you felt okay because you had Mother there. You know, you were able to be protected within her area. And also in the Feywild, while it's just as chaotic, people are a lot more cautious and respectful of space and boundaries due to, you know, if you cause an infringement, you might owe that person something. Whereas that's not the case here. You've been bumped several times, and as a halfling, you are also probably just clutching to Eleni at the minute and being pulled along. What you are, even with the 6, maybe being dragged attention on, is the sweets and food, which looks amazing. There are large apple candy, chocolate covered things. There's, you know, sweets and treats you've never seen before. So in between, maybe just not being able to focus on that, and just like, I like that stuff.
Volley's going to be end up like just like circular with
No,
legs.
no, halflings have 3 stomachs. It's fine.
As Dante moves, he's like he spans around, keeps his eyes out looking, and will as he moves, he's very kind of like it's almost like that bing, there you go, that,
Mm-hmm.
and he will just start almost kind of gliding, but like with presence, kind of going forward and not touching anyone, not kind of like barging past, but almost parting the ways as he's walking in direction.
Okay, and just before I come back to Dante, Ichi, your role for navigating, unless you are following Dante's lead at the minute.
I will do my own one just because obviously have been here before, but it's only a 13.
And which bit specific? So I'd say that you would know that you've got like clothing items left that might need
Yeah.
like a harlequin and a ballroom gown is not you can't just go to a general
no, they're
clothes person with that. That's more
like a
upmarket.
costume
Yeah.
store kind of.
Yeah, they're really, really fancy, these things.
But with the 13, I'd say that you find you think that you know of a few places that might take them, but it's not their style, but maybe they know the right people.
Mhm.
But so I'd say you more with that have a potential lead for where to sell them rather than a straight up knowing exactly. But Dante, easily making your way through, you make your way over towards a jewelry stand that has a female purple tiefling behind it and a Goliath female also standing. You can see the Goliath seems to be stood at the back, sort of chipping and doing some work on some of the crystals. And the tiefling, upon seeing you get anywhere near, immediately approaches and is like, customers, may I help you? We do the finest of jewels. We engrave the loved ones' names into jewelry forever crafted. And they sort of start guiding and trying to show you, like, you can see there's different names engraved into the crystals themselves. How may I help you today?
Have we worked out which one of us is talking, or are we assuming it's Dante?
You can assume what you like, he's just going to say it.
Go for it.
We have gems to sell. Do you buy?
Well, yes, if the quality is of good enough standard, I surely can take a look.
I will hand over the 3 bags.
Okay.
We also have 9 rings and 5 necklaces, Chris.
And he will give out the 7 rings and 5 necklaces.
You've already got one of the rings.
Oh no, sorry, I was counting. I thought you meant
7 is already minusing the ones you took. She already minused that off when.
So he had we had 10. He took 1.
Oh, okay.
So we have 9
For
left.
some reason, I thought I had 2. Okay, yes. Okay, so 9 rings. Okay, apologies. So I will give the 9 rings and the 5 necklaces. At the same time, he's got to kind of put his hand just behind his back towards Volu and just kind of be like,
I in all the confusion, I am kind of just gonna kind of cling on to you in your confidence, kind of pull away from Eleni a little bit and cling on to Dante.
That wasn't what I was going for, but okay.
Yeah, I'm giving you guidance.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so the jewelry I could take, but you might be better served with an actual jewelry store. I would only be going there next, so my prices would have to reflect that. However,
it will just take the jewelry back then.
they look through the gems and they basically they sort of like begin sorting them through and pile back into one bag. They say these I could take the whole bag for maybe 50 gold. They're not high standard. They're agates and basic quartz and the like. Maybe there is something you could use them for, but I could take them off your hands for 50 gold. These, however, she points over to 6 others. She groups 3 of them that are like a fiery, almost like you would guess at like a fire opal or something like that. She says, these 3 together, I could offer you 90, 30 each. The these over here. So she's got 2 that are black. He says these I could offer you 50 each for, and this one I could offer you 60. And she sort of moves them out. So that's the bag
300
the
altogether.
bag at 50, 90 for the stack.
Yeah, it is 300 altogether.
Mhm.
50 there. I mean, that sounds like a good price to me.
Look to the others. I want to do an insight just to see, are they like trying to fob us off?
Yeah, go for it.
And I'm going to use my guidance because my insight is -1. So that's 17, so 16.
I think you pick up that there's definitely like there's markup, and probably slightly more than you would normally get, but also like you've already looked at all the other jewelers. This is probably a better price than you would initially be offered from anywhere else, even if they are taking a little bit more than they normally.
But I try to persuade for like 3. I'm trying to think, say like what markup is kind of like thing. If I would say 350, is that huge or is that little? Is that like saying, oh, instead of
Think about it as a
like
a percentage of the whole thing, right? Like if you asked for 50, that's like, Jesus, my brain, a sixth of the total price.
Yeah, it's like
so that's about
16% markup.
16%, yeah.
So maybe less than that, 325, something like that. Is that?
Yeah, sure, okay. Would you do it for 330?
Okay, give me a persuasion as they look back towards the Goliath, who sort of stops what they're doing and nods towards the one. Okay, nods towards the one that was for 60 that was on its own. They silently hand it over and they like look at it. They nod. So 330 would do nicely. Well, while we are counting up your coin, please feel free to take a look in case there is anything I see. I know that you are maybe not the jewelry wearing type, but our gems are of the finest quality for magic casting, should you need anything. And they'll sort of, they move you away. There's like a set over here that are like for rings, for jewelry, that sort of stuff, towards the like on stands, singular gems that are quality for casting with.
Like a diamond.
Not all, there are diamonds in there, but it's like a variety. So even to the level of like a chromatic orb needs a 50 gold crit gem, but I don't think it specifies the gem. So there's simpler gems that are cut to a quality to be 50 gold, so that you don't have to walk around with a diamond in your pocket all the time. But you know,
So
well, you do if you want to revivify someone.
Exactly. Yeah. So they would guide you over that way and start counting out. So I would suggest you do look through your current spell list and just see, because that, you know, coming across them sometimes is not the easiest. But with Dante, they start counting out the 330 gold.
I just stand there and watch them.
They don't seem to be swindling or
I'm not even like I'm watching to, as in just kind of being like, yeah, okay, but I'm not. My presence is probably more intimidating than what my actual means are.
So do you need anything, Volu? You need any kind of gems?
I think I need some ruby dust. I'm just trying to find where that is, though.
Is it? Do you need it to a monetary value?
Yes.
Okay.
I did see it somewhere. Where's it gone? Well, I said I saw it somewhere. I can't find it now.
You keep looking for now.
Ruby dust worth 50, which the spell consumes as well.
Ooh,
which spell is that for?
Continual flame.
Okay.
But I mean, isn't it permanent once cast though? Is that the
until dispelled?
Yeah. But it's still a hefty one. I didn't realize that was because that's not that high a level spell.
That's what I say.
So it's always ever used that second level.
I very rarely use that spell. Yeah, no. They,
Can
Yes,
I,
they,
can I
it's
ask
up
a
to you.
very quick question?
Yeah.
Sorry. So since I don't think I've long rested my character sheet since I played, and that was when we were first
You
fighting
should,
the
yeah, no, you
wyvern.
should,
So
you
would
should
I have
have,
had a long rest since then?
yeah, you rested
Okay.
just before you were
I'm
entered into
guessing
the
I
city.
probably am the same because I've got damage.
I'd
Yeah.
used some spell slots, so I was just
No, it's you
checking.
would have rested since you camped right before you entered the city.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. So that's good. But so in which case I would like to flick on my detect magic. And I'm going to use the one that I can use once per day.
Okay.
Just to do that. And
Oh,
yeah,
good
is
for
there anything sort of in terms of the jewelry or anything like that that I'm seeing that, or even any of the gems, Liam, that have anything glowy on them and look interesting?
There is. There is in a set, so it's like there is a if you imagine the gems are sort of set out and then there's a small placard saying what they are, but it's in sets of like, so the
Yeah.
diamonds are in this little pile, or they're not in piles, they are set as each pieces, but in a small set there are 5 sapphires,
Right.
and one of them is giving off an aura, and it's giving off, I think, as you stare at it for a second, so it's a mix of like abjuration-y evocation, but you don't think it's like a magic item. It's more like that gem's holding that magic somehow.
So maybe there's something stuck in the gem, something trapped
It could be
inside the gem.
something trapped in it. It could be like in the same way as a Zikar crystal can be enchanted and hold magic.
Yeah.
A crystal of spell storing would glow like this if it was holding a spell. There's a too big a list of reasons why it might glow like this.
Is there a like price on the actual set? I mean, is
So
that one set aside from the others, or
no,
is it just in the
no,
middle?
they're all mixed in, and it says let me just check. So it says, and let me check this is the right. Yes, it is. So the sapphires are currently listed at 1,000 gold, but that is just any one of the sapphires is 1,000 gold.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
But it's a chunky piece of sapphire. It's not like a ring-sized piece.
I
It's
can't afford that though,
you
and without knowing what it
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah, and
Okay, that's going to last for 10 minutes, isn't it? The detects magic.
mhm.
So, I mean, unless there's a ruby here that we can see that's worth buying to squish into dust.
so it's not a priority, but
Okay. I think in that case, with my detect magic on, I would then be casting my eyes around to see if there's a stall that glows brightly for everything on it. I should have thought about that earlier.
I will say you can roll a second perception as almost the advantage you would have got earlier. You are able to collect your 330 gold. I don't know how you want to break that down.
So that's 165 per pair, isn't it?
so you're looking at 83 and 82 as a
Oh,
split.
you have 85 and I'll have 80. I think I started up with a little bit more money than you anyway.
Everyone did. 85 gold was that?
Yeah, 85 gold and I'll have 80 gold.
Oh, thank you.
Cool. So that's the gems gone. Take them off. But we've still got the necklace and stuff, haven't we?
All the rings, yeah, all the
Yeah,
jewelry.
we've still got all of that. Okay.
So what did you get on your perception?
24.
Okay, much better.
Much
Now,
better.
now almost with this veil of like magic, no magic on it, almost is graying out the people and all the things that are not magical to you. And it almost becomes more like picking out specific signs, and you start looking around. You actually pick up 2 stalls that have magic glows, and at this distance you can't see what exactly, but there is a stall over on the far side that seems to do like travel gear, general equipment for, you know, like your rations and your rope and all those sorts of things, but it's a fairly large stall. You can see there that there is a dwarf and a goblin that seem to be sort of like the goblins like stood on the thing shouting out to people to come and take a look, and the dwarf seems to be like, you know, doing the serving and all those sorts of things. And then over quite close to you actually, just down the road from you, you see that there is a clothing stand that again can't tell specifically what, but you're seeing a bit of a glow from over that direction.
Okay. I would maybe nudge Ichi
Yes.
and say, it looks like they might have some magical stuff at that store there, and I'll point at the clothing. Say, I'm definitely seeing a glow.
Oh, good to know.
Do you think it's
Well,
worth us trying there for the Harlequin cloak?
probably might be worth it. Wonderful.
Okay, so you head down to the clothing stand, and when you arrive, it doesn't seem like there is anybody manning the stall, but you do hear like a rustle and a clink of like hangers and such from in deep into one of the racks, and that rustling just sort of continues in within the racks.
Okay.
Excuse me.
One second. And out from one of the backs, so the head pops facing into the tent, and you can see the back tufts of hair and the back of a bald head. It seems to be a gnome, but their body is still into, as they seem to be like hanging off the rail, and they're like, "Oh, one second." They like turn themselves around. How can I help? Find clothes? What do you need? Is it for an event?
Hello. No, actually. Well, to begin, we're looking to sell on a piece of clothing that we've recently lost interest in. But also we're interested in such of the other things that you have for sale. We ourselves tend to venture more than just like in the city. Do you have anything of magical interest?
Well, now that you say so, I do. Over from, I got it from the Black Sand tribe over far in the far west. Ichi, you have heard of the Black Sand tribe. One of their members became prime minister like a good 60 odd years ago, but it was like pretty big deal that one of the nomad tribes had got someone into office.
Yeah.
They were in under the Lyrics and Arcanum, who is the faction that are the arcane faction. But it was a big deal that they were from a small nomad tribe.
Okay.
I have a few things, but you have things to sell as well. If you,
I
Yes.
would be unwrapping, and I would actually get all of the clothes out, I think. But I would put the masquerade suit and the Harlequin outfit sort of on one side, and then lay out the cloak separately.
okay, and then are either of these magical in nature?
We know the cloak is magical itself. We are actually also interested in getting that identified if you were able to do that as well. These two, we understand that with the festival coming up, and so I know some families and such like to host kind of more, what's the word I'm
Masquerade
looking for?
ball.
More
Elegant.
intimate kind of like elegant balls and such. So if these would be of interest for you to sell forward.
I could for sure sell them forward indeed. I don't normally offer an identifying service. It's too much hassle, too many comings and goings, and usually the items aren't worth shit anyway. But this item seems interesting, and I have an inkling on what it is already. Say, should you be willing to sell it, that you offer me a small discount, and if not, 15 gold, and I will identify it.
I will happily pay the 15 gold now, and then we can discuss
Yeah.
price if we wish to sell after
That's-
we have a better understanding of it, if you wouldn't mind.
That seems fair. For the items, it depends on. But my name's Gwaine, by the way. They extend a hand. I'm from the borders on the east of Central Tuil. I recognize. I don't recognize your tribings, but you are of that desert, no?
Yes, my family kind of more resided on the southeastern and eastern front, around the Sapphire, or what they call the Sapphire
Plains.
Plains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Riava.
the Riava tribe. The Riava. I have not been far down as south as the Azure Belt. I have mostly mostly dealt with. Oh, Jesus, my brain. I've mostly dealt with the Kanku clan. Ichi, they are mostly bordering. They do fairly well because they traipse some of their journey into the fertile lands and trade, and
How
they
are we spelling Canculian?
Kankou.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they almost do like a figure eight crossing the border into, so they like come into the desert, trade with the tribes that are crossing through, trade with some of the major cities, exit out, come back into the fertile lands, trade with those people. So they do like a loop in that sense. That they haven't always done that, as that movement hasn't always been possible. They're fairly new in the way of things, like they're not new. They're like a few hundred years old, but like by most of the nomad tribes. But yes, give me a moment. I will be able to identify this. And they pull out it's like basically a small. It looks like the same sort of magnifying glass that you would use on a gem that the Goliath at the last jewelry store was using. But as they pull it up to the cloth, you can see they begin clicking, almost like adjusting the lens, but magical sigils are like as they hit certain spots, and yes, and they sort of look it over. It will take them a minute, just because that's how long it takes to cast the spell. And at the end of it, they would say, yes, I thought as much, but good to be certain. This cloak is a cloak of a robe of useful objects. I can't remember if it's items or objects.
It was objects, wasn't it? I think.
Useful items. I keep trying to say objects. That's
Yeah.
why it's robe of useful items. Once attuned, you can tear off these patches, the stitched patches, and when thrown on the ground, that whatever the patch depicts will appear.
Ah.
Taking a quick glance at the cloak, what kind of like patches can we see?
You have a list.
We did have a list.
Oh, what is the list?
Good question. I seem to remember it was ladders and something else. I don't know if I
remember.
This cloak
remember
was just owned by
ladders.
someone who worked in
There was
You
also-
might not have written it down, so
Hang on. Because
It
I
was
did.
somebody who was ready for a WWE match. Just pulled out a chair, ladder.
Or maybe it's just someone who works in
much.
construction.
it
Or
was.
a
And
con
actually,
artist.
and to be honest, Gwaine would be saying, I've not. This must be homemade, as it were. These are not the standard images and patches that you would get on a cloak like this. I would be very interested in something like this, but obviously I also would understand should you wish to keep it. I can read off that list. I've got it here if it would be
Yeah,
easier.
I'm just curious that I'm sure I
Um,
wrote some stuff down.
So it has 2 daggers, 2 lanterns, 2 steel mirrors, 2 10-foot poles, 2 ropes, 2 sacks, a pit. It does just look like a hole.
Mhm.
A wooden ladder, an iron door, a set of 4 potions of healing, like bundled together. 2 scrolls. You can't tell what's on them. They are just scrolled up. 2 dogs.
Oh,
A small bag of gems, and a stained glass window.
what have you put in front of us, Liam?
I rolled some dice.
I think this is the one that you missed.
It was the session you missed.
Yeah.
This is like I wasn't there for this one.
But to be
because that's
fair,
why I got, like, the sling and
because
everything.
the others of you have seen the images on it, but without having fully known that you can manifest these things.
Now
and-
intelligence
and-
changes.
Yes, and Ichi, you would, or anyone with the high insight will see that he wants it. Like, this is interesting, not only just on like it's rare, but it's somebody made this and it's made pretty well because it looks standardly made. It's not like you can't tell that it's homemade if not for the fact that there are some quite rare stitches on there.
A quick kind of like educated guess. Can I kind of like try and pinpoint a reasonable price for this?
Give me. There's not like a roll for that, but it would, I suppose, just be.
I can do
So
just
you
like a
don't do, like,
general
an arcana
intelligence.
thing, like a.
Yeah, you could do an arcana.
Arcana.
Let me just pull.
Because some of those sound really boring, and then some of them sound really interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, being able to
stained
create a
glass
pit.
window.
Stained glass
Why
window.
is there a stained glass window?
And when will you use that? That's
Who sat there and
to
went,
me
you know
is
what
just
I
like-
need is a portable
Yeah.
thing? Stained glass window.
And the iron
door I can get behind because you can be like, right, I want to get in this place, iron door. Stained glass window.
If you want some colour in your hole,
Not bad.
Colour, yeah.
Excuse me?
I got a 16.
Okay.
I just
So-
if we're gonna do record snippets, can we just keep what he just had there?
Yeah, colour in the hole. Yeah.
Just completely out of
Um,
context.
You know that roughly, you probably, if you were buying an item like this, you would probably be in the 800, 900 range.
Okay.
Selling, obviously, it depends where you go. Are you going with the intention for him to negotiate you down, or are you like, because a 16 is good enough to be thinking like, how do I want to go about this?
This is Ichi is looking to kind of make a profit kind of vibe.
Okay, so you would probably want to go in you
Like
600-ish, yeah, 7-6, and be willing
7,
to
6.
drop to 5. You know you don't want to go below 4. 4 is like the base of what it should be worth. And to be clear, it is only an uncommon magic item.
Mhm.
So it's a mad uncommon magic item, but uncommon magic item it is.
Right. Well, I can't imagine. Well, do we see any of us having any use for any of these items?
Not for
And
the
of
stained glass
Ichi's.
window. I already have a mirror.
I will say that he would be able to tell you just because he would know from the identify.
Mm-hmm.
The pit has to be put on the ground.
That is a movable.
Well,
movable
once
hole,
it no,
portable
one-
hole.
once
No.
it's down, it
It's
is
down.
Oh,
hit.
it's a
Down.
So
permanent
yeah,
hit.
literally, it just creates a 10-foot by 10-foot by 10-foot pit.
Wow.
We've got
the-
an
I
unmovable
mean, that's
hole.
quite useful, right?
The iron door has to be put in an opening.
Oh,
it-
what?
It will conform to any opening and
Oh.
hinge and attach itself,
To any opening.
and
Any
is
opening.
lockable.
That
So
could be a
you
hole
can
this
choose which side is barred, right?
That
So
is-
when you put it on the hole, you choose which side is barred, but it has to be any hole, and as long as it will conform. Up to 10 feet wide, 10 feet high.
So you could make a gap this big into an iron door. You could make it.
Oh, wait, no, the iron door would
it-
fill
the
that hole.
iron door conforms.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so like if it's a 10-foot wide gap that
I
we're
was
trying to
thinking it
close,
would
we could slap
increase
it
the
down
gap
and it
to
would.
the
No,
side
it
of
more
the door.
means if you were crawling through a hole and you were like, I still want to bar this, it would
Put it
just
behind
fit.
us.
It would perfectly
Okay.
fit to that shape, so that
Yeah.
nobody can be like, oh, well, the door wouldn't fit.
This-
I'll squeeze past it.
This is one of those
The-
things that we're going to go, yeah, we don't need any of this. And then in about 15 sessions.
Oh,
Actually,
not
let's
in
not have
15
that
sessions. In
The-
15 minutes,
the
Liam's going to
actual-
go.
the window is the more interesting one, because that can be placed on any vertical surface you can reach, and it
We
will
can
make
just
a
see in.
2-foot by 4-foot by 2-foot window. So if
So-
the thing
so
is
if it-
deeper than 2 foot, it will be a window to wall. But
You could
that
effectively
2 foot
be
is
like,
very
so
2
if they
foot is big. Yeah,
caught
it's
in a
pretty
jail
big, so-
or something, and you can just go and window there, smash out. There we
Smash
go.
it, gone.
Yeah, essentially.
Wow.
That's
I'm
any
just throwing out
any
there.
vertical surface as well. That doesn't have to be a man-made wall. So any vertical surface.
They'll basically
I'm,
break
I'm
into
sort
something.
of, yeah, I'm wondering if we should
If
keep
we ever
hold of
come
it.
against a
We need to
dragon,
keep this.
just, on its chest, smash
I'm
into
gonna-
it, grab its
just-
heart.
Yeah.
if for nothing else, think of the chaos that we could bring.
Honestly, that's what I'm here for. 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Like, if you want to make your money off it, make your money off it. It was a random roll. I'm down for it.
And also think of all the places we could sneak into by doing the old guise of if we're people carrying ladders. Think about how many official places we could get into just by being the people carrying
Lanterns
ladders.
are always useful.
Last thing to note, that once the last patch is removed, it becomes ordinary.
Yeah.
That's just a nice
Still a
jacket.
shitload of patches, though, right?
Shitload of patches.
Yeah.
I think we should keep it, guys.
I've already got more money than I'd ever need, so.
Yeah, the aces are the two that are non-magical.
Mhm.
I could give you I could either give you 80 gold now. That is a low but fair price, considering I don't know when or if I'll be able to sell them. Or if you're going to be in the city a while, you could wait until I sell them, and then I will give you a more fair price if I sell them for a few hundred. Then you will also get a 80% share of that. I feel would be fair.
80%, that's high.
But that's
really
thing that, because he would give you 80% of its value as a buy, right? If he's thinking I can sell this for 100, I will
Right.
I will buy it off you for 80.
Oh, I see.
That he's thinking more like that way. He's doing the deal.
He's still
for
making
you,
that
but it-
small
Mm.
profit, but yeah,
Yeah.
he's gained 20 gold.
That's what I
basically.
mean, though. I would have expected him to take more than that. That's.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I don't
mean-
think we need these clothes. And you guys said you weren't planning to stick around too long.
Well,
We could try and get him up a little bit.
I don't know if I care too much about these clothes. I don't know.
Never accept a first offer.
oh, don't you worry. Ichi's going to turn around and tell you what. If we are going for a quick sell, let me tell you this. And Ichi's going to kind of like flare their hands a little bit. Notice the silver trimming down the harlequin's leg. This spirals up around, creating this rather large, ornate almost river of interconnected silver streams that create a gorgeous decoration. That, if you pair it with the mask which is going over here, for that kind of crimson, kind of adds an aspect of gold searching for the heart of Astara. Silver searching for the heart of Astara. So, with the fine value which we are presenting here, I could take a quick purchase of 100 gold. If you
Yeah.
are so inclined.
Go for your persuasion.
I'm gonna just like give him a good old tap on the back.
For that Defoe. William Defoe. On the floor, apparently. There we go. Rolled a 14 plus the 1 on the D4 plus my so that is a 15 plus persuasion of plus 6, so 21.
Okay. Yeah. I suppose this does do me a favor, actually. Yes, okay, 100 gold on those two items. Are you looking to sell the cloak? I could potentially offer you upwards of 800 for it straight away.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. We were looking for 1,200 minimum on this, so I suppose that will take our business elsewhere.
Well. And well, at least before you leave, let me show you what I have in stock.
Of course, yes, thank you.
Oh,
That 100 splits 4 ways, so everyone gets 25 gold.
Perfect.
I should have a reasonable amount of gold.
so they motion over to the side in a clearly standalone laid out section where you can see 2 cloaks and a set of boots. He says the boots, and as you look, they seem to be leather wrapped sandals that seem to almost look like they have been caught in a sandstorm. If you imagine the straps that you would normally tie up your legs, they're almost like frayed and swaying as if they're still blowing in a sandstorm. These are known as the dune hopper boots. For a short time, they can grant the wearer the ability to climb any surface, mechanically a climb speed. Also, while they are activated, difficult terrain such as loose sands or the cracks and cliffs, they are no match or no difficulty for you to traverse. Very, very good for traversing the deserts themselves. The cloak here, you see a hooded cloak. It seems to be made of desert sand, and the fabric itself is almost radiating a faint heat. This cloak will give whoever is wearing it a stronger resistance against the wear of the sun and the desert. Mechanically, constitution saving throws versus exhaustion on traveling or exhaustion to do with heat environment have advantage. And additionally, once per day for only 10 minutes, they can provide that same benefit to an area around themselves. Basically for 1 hour, you can give a 10-foot area of cooling air that gives creatures in the vicinity that same advantage.
That's really good.
Just aesthetically, that's so itchy as well. Like, everything's sand-based, and it's just like,
that one is called, this is the Sunveil cloak. And finally, the Sand Shaker. It seems to be a worn cloak made of thick woolen fabric. The wool is almost still in its turned and wiry state, and it seems to be knitting in and out of itself as it sits on the hook. This allows the user to create for a short moment, a localized sandstorm. Only a 10-foot area within 30 feet of them. The area becomes heavily obscured for 1 minute, and creatures who dare to stay inside it will feel the wrath of the sand. Mechanically, start of the turn, if you start your turn, you take a d4 bludgeoning. If that is the only person not protected from that is the wearer. They can't designate people. These the boots I could part with for maybe 200. Sorry, 300. The Sunveil cloak was 200. While I understand it very useful if you're traveling outside of the desert, you might not see as much value there. And for the sand shaker, that would be 400. To be clear as well, all of those abilities are once a day uses.
Why you got to make the one I really want too much?
I mean, it is the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, does it make us rethink the patchy cloak?
But also to remember, Aelin, you would
Probably
remember
not.
there was the glow from the other stall.
Yeah,
that
and I
is-
would say there is another stall that has magic items in it.
Well, go and look. Go and be sure of your purchases. Take your cloak. We will make this arrangement for now. They give you the 100 gold and start like hanging and putting a frame into the Harlequin outfit. You see, they don't actually put it up on a thing. They do set it aside. Like they are definitely going to go and find a person for that.
Yeah.
They say the sun is still high in the sky today. We have until it falls below the Colosseum before most of the people will start packing up. Maybe even later with the festivities. So you have more than enough time.
Can I just, because he seems very nice, can I insight him, Liam, just to see if he seems how he appears?
He seems too nice.
Well, no, I'm just, it's not very often I have a character with insight, and this time I still don't have a character with insight, because that was a 7.
Okay.
It's always when you make statements like,
I know,
I rarely get to
I
use
know.
this skill, and I
Yeah.
still don't.
Damn.
No, they seem genuinely just very nice. They seem you're definitely picking up that they seem fairly well traveled. They seem fairly excited to meet new people. What you would be thinking that there's definitely an element of networking and that sort of thing. Their stall is also fairly big compared to others, so they maybe do this regularly.
Okay.
And you would gather as well, if they've been far west and bought these items in the west, they're like heading back, and
Yes.
they do seem very genuine.
Okay. So sorry, we all got what, 25 gold from
25 gold from the Harlequin outfit and the masquerade.
Yes.
I'm gonna go up to him and go, since you're very good with costumes and you have a very good selection, I'm not planning to sell this, but what do you think of my cloak? And then I'll kind of show him my cloak and then let him inspect it.
Okay, they'll look it over. It's like, interesting design and craft. Magical, or will the leaves need replenishing, or how? Like, and they're sort of like inspecting the cut of the fabric, and
the leaves are in a perpetual state, and that they will stay as long as the cloak is undamaged.
Interesting. You say you're not looking to sell. I definitely know a few people that would love to boast this during the fall seasons.
Do you think something like this would be good in the weaving competition? Are you would you be a judge, or?
Well, I know. You sort of give me a persuasion, and then also anybody that wants to insight. You would see a clear, almost conflict and thought on his face as Volu asks this.
Give this another go. 18.
I don't think I need to roll to be able to sit there and go like, this individual is also entering.
Yeah.
30.
16.
So they definitely ponder for a moment. I'd say that Dante, No, yeah, not sure. You pick up the like he's definitely like contemplating something. Ichi, you would go with your safe assumption that he is entering. Eleni, you will think more, and there's going to be like a combination as you sort of look over. They don't actually have the hands of a weaver. You actually think that they are the seller potentially, or there's somebody that they care about who is entering more than they are.
Okay.
They're not trying to protect their secrets. There's like
Yeah.
am I a bad friend if I and
Yeah.
then Volu gives him that like he's like, oh, he sees the young weaver inside him, and he's like he will say, well, I can tell you one thing. So there is two stages to the weaving contest. One is a submitted piece. This would do wonderfully for something like that. The second is a public on the first day, well, the second day of the festivities. You have to go up on stage, and they give you a design and a blank tapestry, and you have to weave it within the hour.
I would have to go on stage.
With all the others, yes. There are currently 4 entrants, I believe. I know for certain that you might have heard of her, Gertrude. Will be entering. She sorry, he would give you her.
That's the name that we were given by Dana as well, or Dana, or whatever she's called. Somebody else mentioned her.
Alara. No, sorry, it was Dana at the
when we were
somebody definitely mentioned Gertrude.
He would say, yes, Gertrude Longmet. They own one of the nicest stores in the city. Further up, within the Crucible. No, not within the Crucible. Sorry, within the Forge. Sorry. They have a lovely stall, and I will say they are the favourites to win, but you never know. You might take them by storm with your passion. But you would need to have a thought of the design. Gertrude has been designing her piece for months now and practicing it, and to be sure that it can be done within the hour. And there are lots of things to consider. But
I would say very quietly in his ear, it's not always about winning. Sometimes it's just about having fun. I'm ignoring Dante.
I kind of
that was definitely a Chris thing, not a Dante thing.
No. I kind of hear Eleni, but I don't pay too much attention because I do want to win this thing.
Yeah. They would also to be fair, young one, the crafts and the food there is I believe maybe something like a 100 gold prize, but the main reward that most of the entrants get is the status. They are known and their names are heard by people all over the of Tuil, and they would get requests for items and such after the event. So winning in these events, the only one worth winning is the Doom Hacker. I don't know if you've heard of the reward for that one.
Actually, I don't know if we have heard what the reward is.
Oh, it is said that it will be 1,000 gold, plus the team may make a request of the current Prime Minister before he gives away his title. Now, I don't doubt that if anybody made anything outlandish, it would be laughed off easily, but it is still quite a thing to have.
You can't just sit there and tell us that's the prize.
Well, you guys actually will probably have already heard this. Tuil has been ablaze since the announcement. Firstly, the announcement of the return of the Doom Hackers was enough to set everybody on edge, if not excited. Then there was the announcement of the prize, and then the announcement that it would be done with the new vehicles, and anybody from all over could enter, even if they have an unregistered Zikar crystal. They could be registered at the contest and raced. So you have been hearing about this. everyone and their kids and their dogs are trying to, and especially Ichi, you would, I think you have not been back at your tribe for a while, but you would know a few names off the top of your head that you could fully see having upturned one of the caravans and be trying to pull a Zikar crystal out of the bottom of it and slap it onto something faster and entering this thing. Because a request from the Prime Minister could be land, it could be a permanent place to stay for those that are traveling on the desert. It's a fairly big deal for the common person.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
Interesting.
so yes, if you are going to enter the weavers or so it is a weavers contest, a cooking contest, a performance contest, and the Doom Hackra.
Cooking, performing, doom hacker.
Yeah.
So the first 3 days, obviously day one is the welcome and the parade and the announcements and stuff. Day 2 is the crafts. Day 3 is food. Day 4 is arts. Day 5 is combat. Day 6 is the actual handing over ceremony. And day 7 is the farewell feast.
Okay.
But if you, I will be here all afternoon. If you wish to sell the cloak or come and purchase any of my fine items, although I cannot promise they will still be there when you return, but you are more than welcome.
Thank you, Gwen.
Thank you, Gwen.
Yes, much appreciated.
They bow and then sort of excuse me, and then like return to just like rustling through and like sorting things, and you hear the grumble of like, people don't put the clothes back.
We head over to the other stall. Would my site still be going, Liam?
It hasn't been 10 minutes. It hasn't been 10 minutes. Yeah. And as you get close, you would more quickly here pick out this is a much neater stall. And as I said, you could see a my brain. I believe a goblin and a dwarf.
Yes, that's what you said.
With the goblin stood on top, and as you approach, they are immediately like, friends, come see. If you are about to make a journey across the desert, you cannot go without one of our gifts and contraptions. Come and look. And they've got like on the table is all the sort of additional niceties that you might want for travel, whereas on the back stall area it's like the rope, the walking boots, the rations. Your standard stuff is like just on the shelves and the walls in the background, with the understanding that if you're going on that journey, you probably know what to ask for on that front. But laid out in front, you can see compasses and small little devices, water rods, things like each you would recognize like a sap tapper to get water from deep within trees that you might find. And a bunch of different things, but Lenny, your eyes would immediately be able to see one of the compasses and one of the water skins.
Okay. And again,
Question.
I would very quietly let each know which ones were nice and glowy.
Question for Liam quickly. There seem to be a lot of vendors and items geared towards going to the desert at the moment. Is there some kind of event or geographical like wonder or whatever that could be causing a lot of tourist attraction?
It's purely just that. So in this initial days, there's some festival stuff, but a lot of this, and even a lot of the people that are coming in for the festival, they're coming in from the desert.
From the desert.
Yeah, it's more that this event, the festival handing over, and you would know every 5 years there is a vote. And even if the same party stays in, they still hold a festival. It tends to be slightly shorter, but they'll still hold one, usually in a city that is not doing as well, that needs the upkeep, the boost in economy.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of the nomads and a lot of the people that make their living out on the outskirts will make the journey because this is probably the best sales they're gonna get for a good chunk of time. And they
Okay.
would bring their best stuff and they might mark it up a little bit. And it's that you would understand. It's like going to a festival here.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. I was just wondering if there was any like specific trying to get people to go that way, but
No,
okay, good to know.
it is just that they also know that a lot of the people that are here might be journeying back once the festival's done. So it's
Of
like,
course.
oh, you might have made the really hard journey here. Buy some items to make that
Make
journey
it easier.
on
Yeah.
your return. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so that's why a lot of it does seem fit to purpose.
Okay.
More about saleability than
Yeah.
anything else. But yeah, so the goblin would. Are you looking for something specific? So are you going on a journey? Tell me about it. You would see the dwarf rolls their eyes and just don't mind him. He's a bit excitable. If you need anything, rations, water, let me know. I'll get it for you out the back. But he just sort of he's like coiling rope and putting it on the hooks, and but the goblin's like, don't mind my boring dwarf fellow. We have some fine items, and if you have the coin, even something of a magical nature.
Oh,
I would have wandered over, actually. I've nudged Ichi to say, but I would have probably wandered over and picked up the compass and maybe just have a look at it, see what it looks like. Is it anything like the compass that the Fae people took?
Similar size, but not in design at all. So this
Okay.
is a finely crafted compass made from a dark polished obsidian, and inlaid with tiny points of luminous gems.
Okay.
The compass, so as you pick it up, they say, that is our starlight compass. The compass will point to true north, even underground or even while being affected by spells that might discern or confuse one's direction. So that for that, even if you do not, even if you're not able to see, even if you're not able to determine anything, this always points true north. And additionally, it allows the user to guide others. Mechanically, it gives the guidance cantrip to someone, to the person attuned to it.
okay.
On that, sorry, to be clear, the person holding just knows where true. You don't even have you don't have to be able to see the compass. You just have to have it.
Oh, right. You just know where
you
it
just
is.
know where true north is.
That's really cool. Okay.
Kind of gives you that aspect of keen mind of just knowing where north is.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Very nice.
They say we also have less flashy, but just as functional, our ever full flask, and they point over to a water skin that's in a white fur that seems to be like rather than having been completely defurred, there must be like an inner layer and an outer layer, but there is a fully white, possibly from some sort of large predator or something like that. It's that sort of hair rather than a beast of burden or anything like that. This can be filled, but also upon activation will fill itself with a day's worth of water for one creature. It also keeps the water inside lukewarm, regardless of any surrounding temperatures.
Enough. You say enough water for one creature.
One creature for 8 hours.
And is that creature associated with the one holding it?
No, no attunements. It requires activation, of course. Like I said,
That's just the volume of water.
Yeah. So you can fill it to that as well because it's a standard flask. So I'm pretty sure. So I think it's bigger than a standard flask.
I think were you more referencing a dragon would need more
creature,
water?
Yeah,
than
like
an ant?
creature size kind of thing. Like
one medium creature.
Medium, cool.
Yes.
I was gonna say if I like strap it to my elk and then get through my connection, be like ask it for more water. Could we get more water? But okay, good to know.
Is it a
Is that
water
every
flask?
day?
What are they called? What are they actually called? Water skin.
Yeah,
it's a
water skin.
Yeah, water skin. Yeah.
But yeah, is it you can activate
Once a
it
day.
daily? Yeah. I mean that's still pretty
Um,
good, right?
It's not too bad.
yeah, so you can fill it normally, and then as an activate, it's an action to activate it. But on activation, it will fill with that water. Say if you are interested, the Starlight Compass is a more useful in a lot of different situations. That one sits at 400 gold. The Ever Full Flask sits at 200. But of course, we have a range of normal versions of the same item. They do point to normal compasses that are there.
Does anyone have any burning passion for the compass itself is a very useful item, but the water skin, anyone else?
I mean,
Does anyone have the
Stupid
desire
passion,
to
right?
spend the money in which they cost? I suppose that's the
I
main question.
suppose for myself and Volu, we don't know where we're going from here. We have some research to do. We have come here to look at the library, and I'm saying this just to Dante and Ichi. We've come here to look at the libraries and to do some research and to try and work out where to go next.
Oh.
So we don't know if we're going to be going into a desert or not at this point. Even though
Will we be going through a desert to go if we're going to go north?
For you guys, it's up to you. You are on the desert side, so you would have to make it up to the pass that is north of you, or you could leave out
go
into
back the way you
the
came.
fertile side and then follow the mountains up that way. But not if you travel up this side, then yes. But if you travel up the other side, no. And once you pass out of Tuil and towards the north of Tuil, it's fairly fertile up there.
Well, if you're struggling on not knowing where to go, once everything's kind of tied over here, Dante and I were planning on heading back north to one of the northern tips of Cell. You're more than welcome to come with us. It's where I trained, where my master taught me what I know. You're more than welcome to join us on that journey, and if at any point you see somewhere or something that you're more interested in, you're more than welcome to leave. But at least for now, it might be a good idea for us to try and stick together, especially with the individuals knowing mine and Volu's name. Oh, I will also say
Please don't.
I will start by apologizing. And secondary, because of the job that we did, apparently myself and Dante are now indebted to this individual, and they will at some point call upon myself and Dante to complete a job, whether or not we follow through. We did not get a choice in saying, but it's also worth noting that is at some point they're going to have a communication with us, I suppose.
So are they going to be very happy if you leave here?
They didn't tell us to stay.
Okay. I would maybe when we're out of here each year, I'd maybe like to talk to you and find out what you know about these people.
Of course, it will probably be a very short conversation, unfortunately.
But that's fine.
But I will tell you everything I can.
Okay. I have to say that I think all of these things would be useful. I don't want to spend 400 gold on something now.
No, that does seem quite a lot.
I could be tempted by the boots because that feels like they would be useful in places that weren't just desert.
Yes.
But Maybe we need to. Maybe we need to win some money in these contests.
Yes, perhaps once our dear friend here wows the audience with their skills, perhaps they'll have more opportunity to purchase some more things.
But I'm going to need a new name. And
We
as
can-
I say that, I kind of twiddle with my cloak and brush over a particular leaf that evokes a memory, and then from that I go, Clovis. I think I'd like to be called Clovis.
Clovis.
Clovis. Sounds as
Good name.
good a name as any, certainly. Clovis, a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Thank you.
Okay, so with all your pieces sold and the decision to not purchase anything just this moment, you would be able, I believe the next intention was to go towards the Bastion, to look at how to register for said contests.
Yeah, and there was something else. I think, didn't you want to?
And the
Said
and
you
the
wanted to
research
give the money
libraries for,
to the guard as well. Was up there?
Yeah, still not managed to sell the horn, but we've got a bit more money.
Oh, that's
So I
true.
could try and find out how much it's worth.
I mean, should we do that here in the market? Is that something we can do quickly, Liam?
yeah, I'd say that if you're just looking around, I'd say you find a few different like general like hunters. They say, I mean, it's a good tooth, but I mean, it's gonna be maybe 10 gold on the tooth.
I'm gonna fold my arms and kind of stare at him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
I stand behind him and do the same thing. And
yeah, I mean, he'll shrug. He'll say, "I'll be honest with you, fellas. You'll probably get more if you ground it down and looked after it and sold it to an alchemist rather than as a solid tooth. You know, make it into a concoction or something. Sell it as wyvern poison. Well, not poison. Wyvern antidote, maybe. I don't know. Can you make an antidote out of it? I'm not an alchemist, mate. I shoot beasties. I can tell you that if you're selling it as the tooth, 10 to 15 gold tops, and you maybe a bit more if you want to do something with it.
Okay, I'll take 15.
Give me a disadvantaged persuasion, as this grizzled hunter is not intimidated by Dante.
Persuasion, did you say?
But
Yes.
can't I just roll intimidation just to see?
No.
I mean, I didn't say anything.
And he doesn't seem charmed by the Volu either with that 4.
The 11 wouldn't have probably done it either, to be fair, but
as they no, sorry fella, it was we've actually been getting quite a few of them coming down out the mountains. Something going on. Not looked into it massively. I'd stay away from them if don't head not north well, sorry, no, directly east out of the city.
back into the rest of the mountains.
Along the mountain range. We don't know exactly where, but there's definitely a nest or something. Lots of adolescents.
Okay.
I'll accept his offer of 10 gold.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you the 10. Okay.
Is 10 gold for a normal person a lot of money, Liam?
Yeah, I mean that's still like
yeah.
That's like if you would know this. Well, Volu probably doesn't, because again, he arrived here however many days ago when he lived.
I started with 5, and I'm now at 150.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when you lived with Eleni or you traveled with Eleni, money wasn't really a thing because Eleni does a lot of trading for trading. Like you'd hunt, you trade that for a lift or whatever. And yeah, now you've just got loads of it, so you probably don't have a great understanding of
Eleni would though.
Eleni and the rest of you would understand that a guard is not going to turn down 10 gold any day of the week.
I mean, bearing in mind, I bought 3 sandwiches for 12 copper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd say something along the lines of, maybe we should just give the 10 gold to the guard, right? I mean, that's a lot of money for him. We've got more than that now.
Good. As long as we can repay our debt.
Okay. And with that, as you begin to make your way up, you would be able to make your way up and through. So knowing sort of the route, Ichi, you can either head up the main strip that will sort of head more directly straight up. But you would also know that, obviously, with Eleni mentioning it, the shelf that holds the library and the research stuff, you know that heading up via the mythic shelf will take the group up past the spellcaster academy, the library, and the scriptorium.
Okay.
That is the garden area that you came down last time when you saw all of the people wearing blue ribbons.
Yeah, I remember.
Showing their devotion to the lyrics and arcanum. And as you ponder this decision and begin to make your way up the mountain, that is where we will leave this week's session. Thank you very much for playing. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the adventures as they're going along so far, hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye.